In this episode,
Welcome to part 3 of How to Let Go When Life Gets Lifey. In this collection of messages I've entitled How to Let Go When Life Gets Lifey, we've been pointing out the life-changing benefits of letting go of people, outcomes, and situations that we can't change, and focusing on what we can change, namely our behaviors, beliefs, perspectives, and attitudes. If you've missed parts 1 and 2, go check them out so you can receive the full benefits of this teaching. Now let's unbox this powerful life and sanity-saving message.
The learning to let go mindset is life-changing. You'll stop needing to win every argument. You'll choose peace over being right because you'll realize that controlling your pride is more powerful than controlling someone's opinion. You'll say what's true, then let go of the outcome. You'll stop over-explaining. You'll stop apologizing for having boundaries. You'll stop bending just to be liked. And in doing so, you'll finally respect yourself. It also transforms how you handle failure. You'll understand that the result isn't always your fault, but the effort always is. So if something doesn't work out, instead of drowning in shame, you'll reflect with purpose. Did I do my part? Did I give it my best? If yes, then you walk away with your head held high. If no, then you fix it, not by punishing yourself, but by committing to grow. This removes any fears of being judged. You'll no longer need applause to validate your choices. You don't need everyone to understand because deep down, you know what you can control: your preparations, plans, practices, and your process. The world can say what it wants, but inside, you stand solid. The more you live like this, the less you worry about things that you used to allow to drive you crazy and ruin your day. While delays, criticism, gossip, unfairness still exist, they don't own you because you know your power isn't in changing or fixing others. Your power is in mastering yourself. And this is not about becoming selfish. In fact, living with this new mindset makes you more compassionate because once you stop trying to regulate and control other people, you start to really see them for the imperfect humans they are. You start to listen better, judge less, expect less, and love more freely. Not out of need, but out of choice. Not because you need something in return, but because giving understanding and accepting others for who they are becomes who you are. This freedom is quiet. It doesn't shout, but you'll feel it in how you sleep better, how you speak more clearly, how you handle change, how you stop needing life to go your way in order to be okay. At the end of the day, the question is simple. Will you give your energy to what you can shape and create in your own life? Or waste your energy on what you can't? That choice repeated daily is what builds a real champion, and not in theory only, but in daily practice. So start practicing this new, healthy mindset today. Filter every thought, every emotion, every decision through one simple lens. Is this within my control? If yes, act with courage. If not, release with acceptance and grace. Stay in the what is and get rid of the what ifs. That's not just a technique, that's a way of living, and it could be the most important thing you ever learn and practice.
Now, we're about to dive deeper into this because once you start seeing the difference between what's within your control and what isn't, something unexpected happens. You start noticing that many of your emotional reactions, those moments of anger, jealousy, anxiety, even guilt, come not from what's happening, but from how you're processing what's happening. Remember, your emotions don't just rise out of thin air. They come from somewhere. And the next stage of this transformation begins when you stop trying to control the world and start investigating what controls you. Here are some examples.
There are moments in life that stay stuck in your mind far longer than they should. Someone says something in a group setting, and your face flushes with heat. A message from someone you care about is cold or delayed, and suddenly your heart sinks. A decision doesn't go your way, and for the rest of the day, your thoughts are a loop of blame, confusion, or fear. These reactions feel automatic, but they're not. They are the result of something deeper: patterns, beliefs, wounds from the past, and expectations. And that's why this step matters so much. If you want to live like a champion, not controlled by impulse, not a slave to your feelings, but anchored in reason and calm, you have to understand your emotional triggers and where they're coming from. I know it can be a scary task, but you have to shine light into the dark corners of your inner world. Not to judge yourself, not to suppress what you feel, but to understand what's underneath.
In other words, you have to own it before you can disown it. I like to call the process uncover, discover, and discard.
Healthy people feel their feelings, but don't allow themselves to be ruled by them. And the way to stop being ruled by our emotions is through self-awareness. It begins with the ability to pause and ask, why did that moment hit me so hard? What belief inside me did it touch? What fear did it wake up? So let's begin that process. Start by identifying a few recent moments where your emotions ran the show. Moments when you snapped at someone, withdrew in silence, obsessed over a comment, or felt anxious out of nowhere. Write them down, not just what happened, but how it made you feel. That feeling is your clue. It's your signal, and that signal is pointing to something unspoken, something you haven't looked at directly or uncovered yet. Let's say someone questioned your idea during a meeting and you felt instant anger. Ask yourself, was I angry because they were rude? Or was it because I have a fear of looking less than or unprepared? The distinction matters because one is about them, the other is about you. When you take responsibility for your emotional response, you don't make yourself the villain. You make yourself powerful. You move from victim to student because every trigger becomes your teacher. Every emotion becomes an internal message that you can learn about yourself and grow healthier from. Here's another example. You see a friend post a success online and you feel a sharp, almost invisible stab of jealousy. You think, why not me? Why am I behind? But the real question is, what belief just got exposed? Maybe you believe your worth depends on keeping up with everyone else. Maybe you think you're not doing enough. That belief didn't start today. It's been there for years. The post only uncovered it. When you take the time to break down these events that trigger you, you'll start to see patterns. And patterns are power, because once you know the pattern, you don't have to keep following it. You can begin making healthy changes to interrupt it. You can rewrite it. This is how a champion's approach differs from most advice you hear about emotions. Most of the world tells you to let it out or just be positive, but making healthy changes for the win goes a lot deeper. You need to understand what's going on inside yourself. Slow down, take a pause, not react, not explode, not deny, but understand what you're feeling and why, and then respond from clarity, not chaos. And to undo the chaos and step into clarity, you have to take a personal inventory on a daily basis.
And learning how to take a personal inventory of your emotions and triggers is going to be the topic of the next message in part 4 of this series. So make sure you subscribe to my channel so you won't miss it. You want a better life? I show you how. Every message I post gives you mental health tools and hacks that actually work. I've tested them in my own life. I went from a broke, busted, and disgusted rock bottom dweller to a mental health champion. And I'm here to help you climb out of your struggle pit to rise higher, faster. Like and subscribe to help amplify these messages for other lost and hurting people who need to hear them too. And if my content resonates, join our community of doers who are rising above the struggles and building a life beyond their wildest dreams. For relaxing music and beautiful scenes that help calm your mind for a daily win, check out my other channel, Beautify Your Mind Studio. I'm G, and I post mind over matter easy mental health hacks to help you win every day.